Hey everyone, I'm Jedra from the Healer Sanctuary, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really cool infusion oil that you can use for intentions, healing, just relaxation, whatever you want. Today we're going to work with a couple of herbs and fun things that you can find in your garden. Found a couple of white China roses, a couple of really aromatic jasmine flowers on the vine. And I just love it when my friends send me their herbs from their garden as well for cooking and spell making, fun types of things, intention setting. I have oregano, I have rosemary, some thyme. I even got this really great batch of sage. Smells so good. That's still in the process of drying, which we can use at another point in infusion oil making. The point being is that you can really just pick from anything in your garden, pick from items even from the store, get some fresh herbs, or even dried herbs if you want to do it in a rush, because really what you want to do is make sure that everything is dried, thoroughly dried for a couple weeks before you actually put it in your elixir. Otherwise, putting it in the oil can make it turn rancid. We don't want that. We want a fresh oil that we can put on our skin or drops in our bath. And depending on what you use, you could actually cook with it. So today, what I have chosen to do is create an infusion oil for financial prosperity and health, which I think we could all use, right? And so I chose a lot of green, of course, and you can even add a crystal, but I chose a green one for our infusion oil making today. I like to clear the space, of course, beforehand. Saging the area is always nice. Taking a moment of prayer and just intentionalized thought on what you're going to do with this is also great. So ahead of time, what I did was pick some rosemary, which is now dried. I have some dried lemon verbena. I have some dried oregano from my friend's garden, one of my dearest friends. And then here is the jasmine that I picked and is now dried. So you can see in its fresh state, firstly picked today. Just love the smell. And how it dries over time. This is what it looks like. And then of course the China rose here, which I just picked from the garden today. I'm gonna set that out so that it really, really dries up into a nice crisp floral piece to use. Over here I've picked a nice couple of things like roses for a nice rose oil, and I've dried that up really nicely. And I also have some like dandelion flower leaves, I think, that came in a nice bouquet that was sent to me recently. And I thought, wouldn't that be nice to make also a rose oil infusion? Pink roses. Today, of course, we're focusing on our infused oil for financial prosperity. All the greens here. I'm going to add a couple of sprigs of rosemary. I want to grind this up so that it's nice and fine when I put it in the jar. And you should have some mason jars on hand, because what we want to do is put our finely chopped herbs in the mason jar. And I'm just going to grind those up really nicely, cut it up even more, right? Make sure that it's all really nice and fine. Get it in your mason jar. And if you're a good kitchen witch, like myself, you will make a mess. That's just a given. Some of the lemon verbena. Nice and fine there. Grind that up. Good old lemon verbena. And then let's see, we can take some of our dried jasmine. Again, it's probably a good idea to chop it up real fine before you try to grind it. The flowers come in nice, fun shapes and sizes, so it's always fun to work with. And then do a little grinding of the jasmine as well. You can make it chunky or grind it out really fine. Again, we have some oregano. That's pretty fine already, so I don't really need to grind it much further. This came to me all nice and fine like this, so I'm just gonna add that. And if you have a crystal, you can go ahead and set that in there. There's a lot of themes in here that you'll find in the herbs that I've chosen for this financial prosperity infused oil. And that is, rosemary has a lot of love, healing, protection, purification, and also has a little bit to do with the memory. The oregano's leaves, again, have protection and love, creativity, freedom, travel, happiness. The white China rose has pure love, of course, protection again, luck, friendship, regulates hormones, so good for us ladies. Spiritual growth, transformation, change, a bunch of good stuff in there for the white China rose. It's kind of an all-faceted thing to use. Jasmine is great. Again, we have the love and the protection. I think that's just important in any oil that you want to infuse your energy into. And then healing auras, of course. Psychic protection. Money matters, of course. So it's really good to have that sprig of jasmine in here for this particular infused oil. Confidence. Confidence. All right, so once you have all of the herbs in your little mason jar, you can use any type of oil that's good for the skin. I would recommend either olive oil, or I have this really great grapeseed oil that I'm going to use today. And cover the herbs about an inch above what you put in. That way it has a chance to really infuse itself. And again, depending on how many herbs you've added, depending on how big a batch you're making, you can really just eye this stuff, right? So you want to just do it about an inch above the herbs here. I forgot to put in some of my little China rose leaves here, so let's do that now. Or seal it. Shake it around a bit. Now this oil is going to take some time, and depending on how much you're into numerology or numbers, you might want to pick a creative number like 3 days or possibly even 3 weeks. To leave it outside or on a windowsill that's brightly lit by the sun, you want to set it there. And every day you kind of want to visit it and talk to it or hold it. I like to pick it up myself and kind of hold it near my heart. And just think of the items that went into here. Love, protection, healing, financial security and prosperity, happiness, travel, regulating hormones. All of this kind of stuff is great. Now these herbs have these properties, so you don't really need to necessarily say that. You can add some extra intentions in there. What I would recommend is writing down a little statement of what this intention means to you. And each morning, during your morning ritual, come visit your elixir and speak aloud your intentions, giving it that extra energetical infusion inside the oil. Okay. So we're going to set this aside for about 3 weeks in a sunny place, and every morning we are going to state our intentions with what we want this infused oil to provide us internally, psychically, and in our aura. So I'm going to put this off to the side here. Now that we've done that one, let's do a quick little infused rose oil. So I'm going to take a couple of these petals. This is a pink rose. So that's compassion with yellow, which is truth. Again, making a nice cute mess. I'll have to find a nice sweet pink stone or crystal to put in here as well. I want to fill this about an inch above. Here we have our rose oil ready to go. And for any of you Reiki practitioners, practicers, or Reiki masters, you can use a lot of Reiki on this to infuse some of that energy, that good, juicy, healthy energy into your oil. As I'm doing now, just letting it flow from my hands into the jar, thinking about love, compassion, and truth. I'm going to set this over here. So now I have 2 oils ready to be infused. Let's pretend now that it's been about 3 weeks. Our oil is ready to go. I've been talking to it daily. I've got my infused oil for financial prosperity right here, ready to go. And as you can see, it's really deep and dark. I have a crystal in here and everything. I'm just gonna set aside my ingredients so I can show you. You're now going to want to have some cheesecloth on hand. Because what you want to do is strain all of the herbs out into a bowl. I can feel it. The energy is just exuding from this one after being in the sun for that length of time, having those intentions spoken to it and infused into it with your Reiki or your just regular energy sending to it. The cheesecloth is going to remove all of the excess herbs that are left over. You can see this one's really coated. And just take your cheesecloth and kind of give it a squeeze. All that rosemary, the oregano, the lemon verbena, you can just smell it too. It's very aromatic. The jasmine, really squeeze every drop because you want to be able to even share this with friends if that's something that you want to do, or it could be a personal thing that you just do for yourself in a sacred way. That's fine too. I have enough oil here that I might share this with a few special friends of mine. I'm just going to wash my hands quickly because of course they're very oily. Okay, so now that we have our oil nicely strained, we have bottles to put them in. We have a few great just regular bottles here, vials, and also some vials that have the ball roller in them. So let's start with the green one because I think green really matches the sentiment of this particular infused oil. So here I've got my eyedropper, I've got my oil, scoop some out. I'm going to get one really nice big and full vial out of this. A nice infused oil. Okay, I was able to actually fill 4 of these green vials here and 4 of these blue roller vials. So I've got plenty for myself and a couple of special friends, and a little bit extra left over in my bowl here for a bath tonight. So I'm going to set that aside for myself to do that. So today we learned how to create a really simple infused oil. It does take a little time. With a little love and care, you can make a beautiful statement and intention oil for yourself and for your friends. I bid you a lot of blessings, a lot of good health, and a lot of great financial prosperity. Hey, one quick thing I wanted to mention about this infused oil. Depending on what you put in it, it could be edible or it could not be. So I recommend looking the items up very carefully before you put them in your oil to infuse it. You can use items that are not meant to be eaten that can be used in baths or just putting on your skin. Definitely, I would recommend, for the most part, choosing edible items, and you're sure to be safe that you're not putting anything on that will be irritating you or cause an allergic reaction or potentially make you sick. So that's my disclaimer about this particular infused oil as well. Many healings.